This episode is sponsored by Lindo's Group of Companies. Why go anyplace else? You see them on the field and on the courts, when they win and when they lose. These are our athletes. They put in countless hours honing their skills and make sacrifices so that they can taste victory. These are our athletes, and now it's time to meet them up close.
Well, hello and welcome to another edition of Up Close with yours truly, Colin Thompson. Well, today it gives me tremendous pleasure to introduce to you promising golfer Oliver Betschart. Betschart, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you here indeed. And what exciting times for you. Obviously, you come here just having qualified for, drum roll please, qualified for a PGA Tour event, namely the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. How does it? How's it sound getting?
It's slowly getting there, but it's just very hard to accept. You know, it's my biggest achievement so far in my career, and I'm quite proud of it, actually. Yeah.
Wow, and obviously you had to qualify, so you had your work cut out, and new format changed this year, 54 holes. You know, walk us through that wonderful experience.
Well, I mean, the 54 holes was definitely new, and I was happy about it because that gave me another chance this year in Bermuda to get onto the World Amateur Ranking List. So that was a great kind of addition to the tournament for me anyway. And I played solid. I was a little bit worried about the 36 holes, but I held it together. I was confident. I didn't really lose any energy. I was not too tired after the rounds. But the first round, I was playing with Scott Roy and Christian Collins, and Scott played excellent through that first round, shot 3 under, I believe. But for me, I was always just focused on the next shot. My sister made me a little bracelet saying next shot on it. I just, every time I would look at it, I'd say, you know, that's my main focus, and that's will be my goal for that tournament.
Awesome. And you know, going into that final round, obviously the top 3 went through, and you had some work. How far were you off the cut?
I'm not sure after that. After I finished, I think I was in 4th place, and then Chaka made bogey on 17, and that was kind of, if he didn't birdie the 18th hole, it would just be, you know, over. And luckily for me, he ended up parring it. Very, very solid round by him as well. And I was definitely, nerves were building up, but I didn't feel many nerves during the tournament because I wasn't really focused on score. I never checked the leaderboard or anything like that. So just kind of at the end of the round, after signing the scorecards, me and Jordan Swan went for a little drive just to try to clear my head a little bit. And then I came back up and watched that final group come in. And that's kind of when everything hit me. This could actually happen. This is it right here.
Wow, it's so cool how you say your sister, you know, she did up a bracelet for you that had some encouraging words on there, you know, keep your spirits high. And you know, I have observed, you know, the wonderful support you receive from your family. Your mom was there, I believe, your dad, who's omnipresent as well, you know, he's always there to support you. So it was wonderful to see everyone there. And you know, that moment when it was clinched, you know, you all were there together, and you know, just enjoying that special moment. I thought that was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, the support is the biggest part to my successes so far. It's all thanks to them. You know, my family especially. They've just been very supportive, and I couldn't do anything without them.
But going into, you talked about that last, because it did come right down to the wire. You know, the Chaka, as you said, still had a chance to get there. I believe that would have forced the playoff.
Yeah, exactly.
So you would have to go back out there in those atrocious conditions. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that in a moment. Yeah. But you know, going into that day, Obviously, I believe Kamiko was the leader.
Yeah.
How far were you off going into that day?
Going into that day, I was six shots.
Six shots.
6 shots off the lead. I was 6 over. Kamiko Smith was even par. And actually, the night before that last round, Kamiko called me up and he said, "Just remember, you're not out of it. You've got a really good chance at still qualifying for this." And that definitely gave me a boost of encouragement there, and I definitely that was very appreciated for what he did there.
Wow, that's awesome. That just shows the camaraderie you golfers have amongst yourselves. And I do recall him after, I believe just before the award ceremony. He came there and he was supporting you, and he was cheering out loud. I'm here to support Oliver. I thought that was class.
Yeah, I mean, Kamiko's always been very supportive and mentoring me, and always being available for when both of us have time. He always goes out and plays with me after, because he was in the final group coming into that last day, and right after he finished, he came up to the stands where I was watching, and he congratulated me, and that was just very nice of him, and his tears were coming into his eyes as well, and I mean, that was just, it meant a lot to me, and I felt pretty sorry for him that he didn't have the best round, but I'm really glad that he was able to share his happiness with me, and then now he's getting into the APGA this week.
That's awesome. And obviously he's been there before. He's qualified for the championship, the main event, and shares a racket.
Yeah.
I believe it was 29 on the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I believe was the front there. but wow, it's just awesome. And I mean, to have that round, to put together a phenomenal round like that in those conditions. I mean, I was up there and I had to hurl on to the stands because I was blown away, and it was wet and windy and just dreadful. How do you guys keep focusing this? I just want to get in the clubhouse. I want to get somewhere where it's warm and dry.
I'm not saying I wasn't thinking about that as well, but during that whole round, it was just, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to give it my all. And that's also what I'm going to be thinking going into the Butterfield Bermuda Championship now, But the weather conditions were definitely tricky. I definitely got some luck. I mean, every golf round, of course, has a little bit of luck involved. But I definitely got some extra luck there with just some putts just lipping in and dropping, and some shots that might have got some worse bounces in other conditions. But, I practice a lot in windy conditions, and it's definitely helpful knowing what you have to do out there when it's in these conditions.
It all came down to the wire. Rewind the clock back 12 months earlier. Similar scenario, and ultimately you came up short by
one shot. Yeah. I mean,
is that something that was in your mind throughout those runs?
It wasn't really. I wasn't focused on the past. I mean, that's kind of the biggest thing for me. Just don't focus on the past. This is all in the future. Don't ever worry about what happened. Just do what you can now. And I mean, last year was tricky, but I don't know if I was totally ready, to compete at that higher level, And this year I'm definitely prepared, and if I know I've done everything I can do to prepare for this event, it's going to be a very successful one.
What do you think of Port Royal? Is that one of your favorite places to play?
It definitely is. I mean, it's my home course. It's definitely where I feel most comfortable playing. So I'm excited to be able to compete in these big events there, and to have the opportunities and the ability to do a bunch of practice rounds and have the experience there.
Wow, so that's awesome, because that's Kamiko's home course, and obviously he's quite familiar with the course, and you're familiar, and so does that help you? Does that give you any advantage, any edge? Knowing that, hey, I'm going to make my PGA debut on my home course. Not many get that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely exciting to be able to know where, because with all these pros that are coming down, they have to look at the yardage books and they have to figure out which way these greens are sloping and all the speeds. And I have the very rare opportunity to be able to experience all of that through years and years of experience on this course. So that's definitely gives me a bit of an advantage.
Now you're talking about years and years of experience. I don't know if we've highlighted, but young Oliver is 15 years old. Yes, 15 years old, going to be making his PGA debut on the PGA Tour, which of course is the pinnacle of golf.
Yeah.
And not many have done that. He's one of the youngest, I believe the fifth, and certainly the youngest Bermudian now to qualify, having picked his compatriot Kenny Lejour by 6 months, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you think about that?
It's a new experience because I know Kenny was also 15 when he qualified, and this year was my last chance to beat that record. So it's great to be able to do that this year. It's definitely better to do it as young as you possibly can, just to get that get that under your resume, your belt it's a great achievement.
Comparing last year to this year, going into it, the approach, your strategy, were there anything you changed, anything different this year, or business as usual?
I mean, I think it was pretty much the same mindset last year, just next shot. It was always just hit the next shot as good as you can. If you don't hit it great, focus on the next shot. It was just, I don't know if I was totally prepared last year for a higher competition, but I mean, scores show that I was pretty close to qualifying, so yeah.
Well, I remember last year I saw you there because you didn't get in, but you were still involved. You were helping out,
yeah.
And you were driving around in the car, big smile on your face. But a year later, and I look at you now, and certainly you've gotten taller.
Mm-hmm.
Or I've gotten shorter. Either way. But now, so you've also matured a lot. I've noticed a lot, and you've enjoyed a lot of success. You put a lot of hard work in your game, both here and overseas. Perhaps you can enlighten us a bit on that. I know you've been racking up some frequent flyer miles.
Yeah.
Not all of your golf has been here this year. So what are some of the other jurisdictions you've been playing to?
I mean, this year has been early in the year. I had AJGA, which was here, and then after that, in February, I went to Florida and played one event out there with one of my best friends, Carly Mayer, and I finished fourth in that tournament. Can't really remember what I shot there, but it was a Florida course, very flat, a lot of trees, a lot of water, alligators, obviously. Then after that, my coach, David Ogren, picked me up from Florida, took me to Texas. I played 2 Prestige Tour, STPGA Prestige Tour events out there. And that was also one of my goals for this year, to win a Prestige Tour event, which is competing against the best. I don't know if it's the best, but definitely a higher level of playing in the States, in Texas especially. And I won my last event, which was the day before I left Texas, in a playoff actually against another very talented guy out there. And he made, on that first playoff hole, he made a 20-foot putt for birdie, and I had a 10-foot putt to keep it going to the next hole, and that was the highlight of that trip, just making that putt and then winning it on the next hole with a simple par. And that was a very big achievement for me for this year as well. Then after Texas, I went to Switzerland for the summer, and I played for the beginning, for the first month that I was there. I played 2 tournaments. I was not totally used to all the different altitudes and different courses, and you gotta change how you play on different courses around the world. And I wasn't totally comfortable with courses out there yet, so I didn't start out too great. But then after that, I went to Guernsey to play in the Island Games with the Bermuda national team with Javon Roberts, Jared Dillis, and Adam Perry, and that was an amazing experience. Really enjoyed it. We had some great laughs and great fun out there as well. And then also I'd like to say congratulations to Ebony and the whole women's golf team that went to Guernsey for playing very well. Ebony won, so it's very, very, very happy for her. Then after my okay performance in Guernsey, which was finished in 16th place, I think, overall, out of 80 guys, I think it was. I went back to Switzerland for till the end of August. I played 5 events. I came second in 3 of those events. Those were with juniors and amateurs and professionals. So it was a bit of a mix there playing in Switzerland. And you don't see many really good Swiss players on tour or on the DP tour at the moment, but I got a feeling you got some really, really good players coming up from Switzerland. So it was really a great experience being able to train out there as well with my coach out there, whose name is Jan Koskamp, who is the coach at my golf club that I'm a member at out there, Golf Club Zürichsee, we call it in Swiss. And we got a lot of good practice in, and he helped me a lot with my game as well. And then coming back, getting ready for the qualifier.
Wow. And in between in this all this is it's also skill starters, isn't it?
Yeah,
you got
exactly.
So how do you balance all that and training and everything else?
I mean,
all your other obligations.
In case you didn't know, I am homeschooled, so it's a bit more flexible for me to balance school and golf, but it's usually school in the morning, then golf in the afternoon. Either my dad takes me out or I go train by myself. And, it's always you got to fit school in there somewhere. Either mom sits me down late at night, saying, get this done, or I do it the next day. You always find time for school somewhere.
And you also had some success here. I believe you won the Moongate Tour.
Yeah, exactly.
Another victory on that, your first, and some other successes.
Yeah, the Johnny Walker as well. That was just before the qualifier. That was definitely a boost of confidence there. Just knowing that I can compete with all these top players in Bermuda. Congrats to Dwayne, who played very well those days. But I mean, I hadn't played Ocean View in over a year. So being invited to play the Johnny Walker that evening before I got my entry into the Johnny Walker, I had no practice round, nothing. I went on the first tee. I was like, I'm going to play very smart, steady golf out here. And I got it done. So, yeah. So
was that your first time playing in Johnny?
It was my first time, yeah.
And you won the amateur time?
Exactly, yeah.
First attempt?
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. You called off some names, Giovanni and Dwayne Perman. Obviously, they're Port Royal as well.
Yeah, exactly.
They came up around the course as well. So that's their home course. So, yeah. A lot of talented golfers up in that area there, the Somerset Bridge. So is that where you're from, Somerset Bridge area? Or?
No, I'm from Warwick.
From Warwick?
Yeah, okay. Middle of the island.
Okay. That's interesting. Belmont.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes slip over there in the evenings, go for a quick 9 holes, get some practice in over there. Very good course too.
Awesome. So when did you start golf? When did you?
I started golf when I was 5 years old, watching my brother play on the driving range with his coach at the time, Kim Swan. And I just really desperately wanted to try out because I was watching him. And Mr. Swan cut down an adult club for me, and I just started swinging it, and then I became part of that lesson as well. Just whenever he had his lessons, I would just tag along, hit some balls as well. Yeah, and that's how I got started.
Yeah, former European Tour player, Kim Swan,
yeah,
another one with ties to the area up there geographically. Awesome. So, and he played a big part in your early development, as you mentioned. I do recall interviewing him in the past when he was talking about the potential that you possess. That was years, and now here we are. Fast forward the clock. Here we are at age 15, making the PGA Tour. debut. So he certainly called it. He
Yeah.
saw it and he called it. So are you nervous? Are you excited? Adrenaline good? Looking ahead to the big day.
I mean, I'm definitely nervous. I mean, I know I'm going to be extremely nervous on that day, but I mean, for me, nerves, they leave after that first shot. It's right after that first shot, it's all fine after that. That's kind of the moment that it all builds up to. Then after that, you can kind of release everything and just continue on with your round, play good golf.
Man, you're gonna be surrounded by some of the best in the business, and that's a privilege.
It definitely is. I mean, it's an honor to be able to play and compete with the top professionals and amateurs in the world.
Wow. I say you took to the sport at age 5, and what was it like back in those years? Was it a smooth transition, or you have a few bumps and
I mean,
challenges along the way?
it was when I was young. I am still a bit young, but when I was in my earlier years, it was mostly just fun. I just went out. I enjoyed the game. Only when I was 9 years old, I kind of started to play a little bit more competitively. I went to drive, chip, and putt, which was my first competitive tournament, kind of out in the States at TPC Sawgrass, and that's kind of where I started to play more competitive golf.
Now, kids your age, or youngsters your age, because you're certainly you're 15, but when I'm in your presence, it's not like I'm talking to a 15-year-old. You are so beyond your years, so mature for your age. But no, when I talk to you, it's like you seem so composed, so assured, so focused, and I know you've put a lot into your game. What are some of these sacrifices you've had to make?
Well, I mean, it's kind of part of my personality, being very kind of calm and composed. But I mean, I definitely have to train that as well. When I see, because I've been away in the States and I've seen other juniors and players get really angry and throw their clubs and swear and stuff like that. And just seeing them, it teaches me that I don't want to be like them. I want to be my own person, and I want to be able to keep, very, very level, very calm. And also breathing helps with that. And I've started with a mental coach as well. So that's definitely helping a lot now.
So when you're in Florida playing and the alligator comes up by your bed, you just take it on in stride. I saw a video with one of the golfers. He tipped it on the tail.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that.
That's super confident.
I need my hands to play golf.
Fairness. But I was trying to get to it, and I kind of got caught up in thought. But athletes your age, obviously, they when they have ambitions, high ambitions, big ambitions, to go professional in whatever sport they're in. Obviously, it does come at a cost. They have to sacrifice a lot of things that they might have otherwise been doing with their peers, their friends. Have there any been times like that where you've had to stay committed to your sport? And it was something else going on, and you had to make a difficult choice.
There's definitely been some social events or gatherings with friends that I've had to miss because I either have tournaments or I'm on my practice schedule, and I know I need to focus on golf. But I mean, you got to also make time for also your social life. You gotta realize it's not all golf. Golf is a big part of it, but also you got to be able to make connections, and you have to learn from other people, and you got to be able to talk to them.
So is there anything else you do? Maybe fish? You do fishing or gardening?
I mean, I do try to get out and do some other things. I'd like pickleball and squash, but I also realize that golf takes up a lot of time. To play an 18-hole round of golf, it takes 4 hours. That's a lot of your day just gone, and then including practicing, it's a lot of sacrifice that you have to give to, you have to give up a lot of things that you enjoy doing sometimes, but you also got to make time for some things to keep your mind clear of, stress or anything like that to do with golf nerves.
So obviously you have goals, and like anyone else, you know what I'm sure playing on the PGA Tour would have been one.
Definitely, yeah.
You can tick that one now. First opportunity to, but what were your goals when you set out, in this career?
I mean, the end goal is to win the Masters. That's kind of my big goal that I have plastered up in my room. That's the end goal: win the Masters or win the Grand Slam. Have all four majors. That's the end goal for me. But I mean, short-term goals, it's more, I want to get on the World Amateur Ranking List. That's one of the goals for this year. And I mean, qualify for the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. That was one of the goals. It's just, being able to write down these goals, make these goals, and then achieve them is just, it's definitely special to know that, if you set your mind to something, you definitely can achieve it.
Awesome, man. You look cool in a green jacket this time. You look good. That'd be something.
Oh yeah.
That would be something. And who are some of the golfers that you've admired, internationally, domestically, those who have inspired you,
On the PGA Tour right now, I mean, my favorite golfers that have inspired me are like Victor Hovland. I really like that he always has this positive attitude. He's very calm. He knows how to shape shots. He knows what he's doing out on the course. Very controlled. And my all-time favorite golfer is Jack Nicklaus. Kim Swan actually always used to call me Big Jack. And that's just always stuck with me now, and Jack's my favorite player of all time.
Yeah, he was one of mine coming up to Jack De Beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Arnold Palmer. Wow. You grow up with we used to watch the sports shows, and you see it in the paper, and these guys are legends.
Yeah.
They're legends, and but the game has changed so much. Even the athletes, themselves. I mean, today's golfers look a lot different from what their predecessors looked like, decades ago. The game has evolved so much, and also the athlete. Athletes now really tightening up on the mental side of the game, the physical side of the game. So it's not just your ability, your athleticism. There's a lot more components to it all now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely changed over the years now. Also with rules, they're always coming out with new rules. They're changing the rules a little bit, and it's all in all, it's just growing the game. That's, I think, the goal of the PGA Tour and all the other tours that are out there. It's grow the game, make it more popular, make more people play it. Let more people enjoy the sport.
Well, it's certainly still popular here. I remember, during I think when we came, was it during COVID? I just noticed a lot of athletes that I had seen in other sports just suddenly seemed to be gravitated to golf, and it just exploded. I thought maybe I was just catching up. But I do notice a lot of athletes from all different sporting backgrounds. You see them out there now playing golf, and even, the average weekend warrior, which is probably where I fit in. I like to putt.
Yeah.
I can read a putt pretty good, but I don't swing a club. Yeah, I have sciatica, so I don't mess around with that. So I'm afraid to go up on the tee box. But wow, going back to Port Royal, any particular hole you like up there? Is it, you got your favorite hole over there, or they're all special to you?
I mean, they're all very, very different. I find I like it because I've played other courses that there are a lot of holes that are similar to each other. Port Royal, I find every hole is unique in its own way. And I mean, if I had to pick a favorite hole, I'd say number 3. But it's because that's where I made my first hole-in-one That's what kickstarted my love of golf. That's kind of the point right there where I knew this is what I want to do.
That's the short one over the pond there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we used to walk across there on our way from Southampton Glebe, catch the tadpoles in the pool, get a little drink of water. Oh man, you bringing back memories, a lot of memories. I grew up in that area as well, so definitely a lot of memories up there. But Oliver, man, I'm just so happy for you. It's always a pleasure to see an athlete reaping reward and the benefits, from all the hard work that they put in to their craft. This must be inspiring.
It definitely is. I mean, I hope I can inspire other young Bermudian athletes, especially, or golfers, that will learn from me, learn from my mistakes, learn from my achievements, and just thrive to be also the best in the game. That is one of the big things in golf. You got to set your goals. You got to know why you're here. If you don't know why you're here, it's just, what are you doing? You can also have fun with it. It's really what you want out of the game.
I think it's awesome, and you are the future, and I'm sure there's others looking at you and saying, hey, if Ali can do it, I can do it. You mentioned Scott Roy. You appeared with Scott in the qualifier, and he got through as well, so must be happy.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy for him. He deserves it as well. He's putting in a lot of hard work, also out on the golf course, But what I noticed with him playing those first 2 rounds is his par 3s, how he plays them is just so good. It's almost perfect. But I don't know if that's because he plays at Turtle Hill so much, or if that's just, him. But I know that he played those par 3s very good.
Awesome. And he has had lots of success. Obviously, topped the order merit on the Moongate.
Yeah.
I think he had 4 wins, I believe.
Three wins, I think it was. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's certainly enjoyed some success, and congratulations, Scott. And of course Michael Sims is back again. He got an exemption. And Eric West, congratulations to Eric as well. He's finally gotten through and helped himself to a birthday present.
He's been putting in a lot of hard work as well, and I played with him a bit or before the qualifier in BGA team tournament, and he was playing really solidly, and just he was very committed to what he wants to do, and his company Paradise as well. I think they make really nice clubs.
Yeah. Interesting to note too, the qualifiers were amateurs, yourself and Eric, and also going back to the main event, no Bermudian has made the cut.
That's true.
Coming to the weekend. Is that something that you're saying?
It's definitely at the back of my mind, but my coach and I talked about this, and my goal for the tournament isn't to make the cut. It's to hit that first tee shot on Thursday as good as I can. I'm not looking too far. I'm not looking in the past. I'm looking at that next tee shot. That tee shot is what I need to do next. So, yeah, that's the goal.
Like your bracelet, I'm sure your sister she's working on another one.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna wear that one again.
Take it one shot at a time. Relax. Awesome, man. From your experience, what's it like up there, that atmosphere? For those who may not have been there when Port Royal hosts the PGA event up there, it's huge, isn't it?
One word to describe that atmosphere is just electric. It is just crazy. It's great to see this event in Bermuda, because it's new for Bermuda, and it's also very, very good for tourism. You get a lot of people hearing more about Bermuda now. And working with the PGA team last year, every time I drove past that 18th hole or walked past that 18th hole, I was just like, this is where I want to be. I want to be walking up that 18th hole. I want to be able to make my country proud.
It's amazing, I think, Chet. Tiny Bermuda, 21 square miles, can can host an event of this magnitude. I don't think I think there are some out there that don't really grasp the fullness of what we have. I mean, I could think of numerous jurisdictions that would be, you know, would love to be in our position, you know, to have this opportunity. What's it like, you know, from a golfer's, you know, Bermudian golf, like this is really happening in my backyard.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching it. I've gone up for 4 days for the last 4 years now, and it's special. It's a special event because I think this is the second PGA Tour event that they have that is outside of the U.S. because they have one in Mexico as well. But having it here on my home course as well is just very, very special.
Wow, it is indeed, and obviously the exposure the island gets, you know, with the TV coverage all around the world, and Port Royal looks stunning. You know, and everybody, of course, loves number 16.
Yeah, obviously,
which was the shortcut to get to real big. Awesome. I just hope that we have some wonderful weather.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask another question. You know, because it's like you have an idea of how you're gonna play golf, but it all varies on the day because of the conditions.
Yeah.
How much of an adjustment is that? Like when it's windy, you know, what can you do? Like,
I mean, for me, it's again. I mean, me and my dad, we in the morning we go look on Bermuda weather. We look at what the wind's gonna do. And he tells me, so it's going to be down and from left to right on number 1. That's going to be the wind direction. And then from there, I kind of figure out the rest of the course, you know. But that wind direction there on number 1, that's all I'm really worried about so far, you know. And wind makes the course hard. Personally, I think wind is what makes Port Royal a PGA course. I mean, the conditions are what makes it whole,
especially up on that back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow. What about the pin placements now? when do the golfers find out about the pin play? Is that something you know before you get out there? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually just you get a pin sheet before the tournament. You look over the pin sheet, you figure out where they put the pins. But mostly, I mean, it's always on the hole, on the tee box. I'll look at the pin sheet quickly. I'll see, okay, that's where the pin is. I'm going to place my ball there, and I'm going to attack the pin there or just hit the middle of the green, you know?
And some of those greens, you know, they got the slope on them. They put the pin there, you know, you hit it too hard. If you're putting downhill and, you know, like on 18, for example, you're behind the hill and, you know, the pin placement is just above that ridge.
Yeah.
You know, you go too hard, you can be back down the front of the green or off, back in the field.
Yeah, I've definitely done that a couple times, but yeah, it's 18 is always a special hole to me as well, you know, it's where you finish. It's where you win tournaments or you lose tournaments. You know, it's where it comes to an end. It's kind of the last chance.
Wow. Well, speaking about coming to an end, I think we should pretty much wrap it up.
Sounds
I
good.
don't want to keep you here too long. I hope you go out on the course and get some practice in.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you can do us proud. Yourself, your family, and Bermuda.
Yeah, thank you.
Extremely proud. You're already here. And again, I just want to congratulate you.
Yeah, thank you.
I wish you the best in your endeavors going forward.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone you want to shout out? Any special shout outs to anyone before we go?
Definitely my parents. They've just been very helpful and supportive. Then Kamiko Smith, he's been a great mentor. He's been working with me a lot and helping me figure my game out. David Ogren, my coach, who is in Texas at the moment, he's coming down to caddy for me in the qualifier. Not in the qualifier, in the Butterfield Bermuda Championship, and I appreciate that he takes time out of his life to come help me out with that. And I'd also like to thank Vineyard Vines for outfitting me for today. That's very helpful and special too. I think that's all.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hello, family. And again, best wishes to you and your team, your camp. And enjoy it. Have a great one out there.
Thank you.
Enjoy the experience, and I look forward to to following your progress and the progress of all our qualifiers.
Oh.
And Michael Sims, he's out there too. I look forward to the experience always, and this year it's going to be no exception. Well, folks, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. But before we go, I'd like to give a special shout out as well to our co-producers, Crimson Multimedia, to our sponsors. And last but not least, I'd like to give a special shout out and thanks for the viewing public for tuning in. And look forward to seeing you again real soon right here on Up Close with yours truly, Colin Thompson.
This episode is sponsored by Lindo's Group of Companies. Why go anyplace else? Thank you for watching this episode of Up Close with Colin Thompson.